All right, 8th graders. In lesson 1.6, we're talking about central tendency. Okay, central meaning center. The central tendency is a way of looking at a data set or a bunch of numbers. When you put them in order, finding the number that best represents the middle of the data. And so there's different ways of finding the central tendency. Okay? You have to understand this in order to understand what central tendency means. So one of the ways to find the central tendency is to use the mean, or the average of the numbers. Look at the example. To find the average score of this team, if they scored 37 points, 40 points, 28 points, and then 35 points, what was their mean score? What would you do?
Add them all and divide by 4.
Yep. Add them all up, find the sum of the 4 games, divided by 4. What do you get?
35.
Yes. Add it up. Where's your calculator?
Surprisingly, not in my backpack.
I got it.
I found the calculator.
This would be 35.
119.
Oh wait, wait, what are we doing?
So how many?
I got when you add it up, it's
Oh wait, oh, we're on that? It's 140.
yeah 140.
140 divided by 4,
It's 35.
35 points a game, right?
See, I.
Now, what if you were asked, what if they wanted to average 40 points? If that was their goal, to average 40 points a game, what would they have to get, or what would they have to score in the 5th game?
Let's see. 35.
What would they have to do? So let's work backwards and figure out what would they have to score in the 5th game in order to raise their average to 40.
Yes, go 35
Well, they'd have to, but they'd have to
Oh.
score, it's talking about an average,
Oh, hang on.
right? What
That's
was, the
tough.
total of this one was 140,
That's
right? What would their total be if they wanted an average of
200.
40? Why do you say 200?
because I multiplied 5 times 40.
Okay. Yeah. 5 times 40 is 200 total points. Right?
Yeah.
Now, how would we figure out what they'd have to score in the 5th game then? If they need 200 and they have, what?
Oh wait.
100 and forward.
In 4 games they have a total of what?
60 points.
In 4 games, Isaac, they have a total of
140.
140. So far, they have 140.
Need 60.
They need 60. They need to score 60 points in their 5th game in order to raise their average to 40.
That team needs to be a bad team.
Okay? So, that's how you can use average. That's a question that you'll see on a test or quiz, is how do you get the average you want? If you're using division to find the average, then you use multiplication to work backwards and find the total that you need, or the average that you want. Okay? Let's go on to another way to find this central tendency, and that's the median. Okay? For median, you're looking for the middle value. Now, if you have 4 numbers, there is no middle number in the set. In that case, you're going to find the average of the 2 middle numbers. Okay? So you take the 2 middle values, add them together. 12 plus 18 is what? 30 divided by 2. So the median in this set is 15. Okay? Even though it's not listed, it's the middle of the 2 middle numbers. It's the average of the 2 middle numbers. Does that make sense? How about the mode? The mode is,
I know that occurs like more than once.
right. What's the mode in this set? There is no mode, right? What if there was another 26 here?
26 is the mode.
Yeah. What if there was another 11 here?
You'd have 2 modes.
Then you'd have 2 modes, 11 and 26. Yep. Any questions about that?
Wow.
Then the range is the difference between the highest and the lowest values. Okay? You remember this stuff? So, all of these are measures of the what? Isaac?
All these are the measures of the
No. What did you say, Keisha?
Central tendency.
Central tendency. So if it says,
big
what is
words.
the best measure of the central tendency? In other words, what's the best measure of the middle? In this set, you probably wouldn't choose the modes, right? Because, what?
You should have put this out.
Those are the extreme values, the highest and the lowest, right? What is the middle of this set? A median, yeah, 15. So that would be probably a good one to choose. If they ask you the question, what is the best measure of central tendency in this set? You might choose the median, because it's the middle value. Sometimes the mean will be the best. And you could say, the mean is would work really well, because it is a middle value. Sometimes the mean won't be a middle value though. What if there's an outlier in the set? What if one of the values here is 60? Then that's called an outlier. So if you found the mean of all these numbers, it'd probably be a little high compared to the middle. Because this one would raise the mean. Just like we raised the mean when we were talking about raising it to 40 on the previous example. So sometimes the mean is not the best measure of the central tendency. It's not the best number that represents the middle. Sometimes it's the median. Sometimes it's the mean or the mode. If there's a bunch of numbers in the middle, then the mode might be the best. Okay? So is this making more sense than when we've talked about it in previous years?
Yep.
Sometimes central tendency is a hard thing to wrap your mind around, but it's choosing one of these that represents the middle of the numbers. Okay?